Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Welcome to this quick little lesson on Jingle Bells. We're going to be doing a Merle Travis picking version of it. Not too hard, kind of a beginner intermediate version of it. Let me play it for you first, and then we'll get started. Now, there's a PDF that goes along with this. You can go down into the YouTube description, and that will get you to the PDF that goes along with this lesson. It's all written out there, the tab, the chord notations. I even put fingering notations in there as well. Now, I'm going to be playing this one with a pick, with a thumb pick, kind of in a typical Merle Travis technique. So let me just play it for you to get us started off here. There you go, a fun little arrangement of Jingle Bells there. Hey, if you like the content that we are doing, make sure and click that subscribe button down there. That way you'll get notified every time that we go live. Let's take a look at this. If you have the PDF in front of you, let's just kind of start working through this. Some thoughts on Travis picking. Well, here's the deal. If I just play a regular C chord down here, so I'm going to have my thumb is handling the C, and then my first, second, and third fingers are going to handle, the things happening on the fourth string all the way through the first string in various combinations. But basically, here's the idea. We alternate the bass. So we're going to do this on a C chord. And then when we get to these other chords, when we get to the F, you'll notice the F, we kind of go an octave, fifth, and that's sort of a jump. And then we go to the G chord. If it's an open G, there's two different kinds of Gs in there. It's an open G and then a G seventh with a bar. If we do the open G, the pattern becomes that sort of pattern. And then we jump into it. Now, when we get to the, let's see, the G7, measure 14, top of the second page, then the bass pattern becomes first finger with what's on the bar. And then we go back to the C. All right, so let's dig into this a little bit. All right, so on my fretting hand over here, now that you've kind of got an idea what's happening with the picking hand, let's take a look at what's happening with the fretting hand. Starts with the third finger on that low C, just like you would normally. I put the chord blocks up there so you know what the chord shape is. I alternate the fifth and the bass. Okay, so that's the first move. I'm basically going from a C to the G in the bass and then a D, so it's almost kind of like a D shape, and then back to the C. That's the first move. Now, if you're not used to Travis picking, that may take you a while just to get that. can always look down at the tab and see where my fingers are being placed on the frets. So all of those first 3 bars are pretty standard. You stay right in this neighborhood of C. We have the alternating bass, but basically we have the top half of a C with a few other notes going around. All right, and then we get to an F chord. So we have to have a big old bar F. We're going to hit that A melody note in measure 4, and then we have our little bass pattern. And on my picking hand, what I'm doing there is I'm hitting the thumb pick with on the low F, for really the low F, the high F, and then that C too. But that A, because it jumps from the C to the A, I'm hitting that A with my middle finger. So it's thumb, 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 middle thumb. That's a tricky little combination there. Okay, measure 5, we just keep going. Then a quick little C chord. Sorry, the G chord is the same pattern we did for the F. Dun, da, do, da, dum. And then here we have some contrary motion where one line is going up, the bass line is going up, the melody line is going down. So if we put them both together, we end up with something you hear all the time in Travis picking. One line going one way, and then the other line going the other way. So the melody notes, you'll notice, have the stems up. The bass notes have the stems going down. So that's a little trick visually to kind of see where these chords are placed and what part is what is each. All right? Now, look at that at the end of measure 8. Nobody's going to know about this but me. But I put that little in there. Hey, do you know, in pretty much all kinds of orchestral Christmas songs, you hear this line. C, G, A, E. It's just kind of a Christmas little motif that you hear a lot, and I just snuck it in right there. There you go. And then measure 9 is an exact repeat. These 4 bars are an exact repeat of the top of the song. Now here in measure 14, top of the 2nd page, we get to some new material. And instead of going from the open G, where we're going to go to a bar G. Okay? Now, I put the fingering notations in here as well, and here's a good place to look at those. The fingering notations are the numbers with the circles around them. So if you see the little numbers with the circles around them, generally next to a note, either below a bass note or above a melody note, that's telling you what finger to use. So in measure 14 there, you'll see right beside that low G, number 1. So they're either going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4, or open, 0 for an open string. So it has my first finger there. So that means for that low G, I'm going to have my first finger. And notice at the top G is still my first finger. All of that is underneath the bar. So I form this big G7th chord, nice and strong. So the bass line is going, and I have these top notes going. And then the melody goes, but just to harmonize a little bit, I did it in the interval of a 1/6. Okay, a 1/6 is like a 1/3. So a good way to harmonize is either harmonizing up a 1/3 And if that doesn't work, then you harmonize down a sixth. So, but usually between one of those, you get the right harmony for the notes. And in this case, if we go down a sixth in each of those, okay, so 6 steps below that A in the key of C is that C. 6 steps below the second note G is that B. And I wouldn't play that. Notice the tab. I know there's an open B there, but I'm going to play it with my first and second finger up here at the third position. So the A and the C in measure 15 is with the third and fourth finger at the 5th fret. Then I slide that 2 and 1 down to the 1st fret, and then I do 3 and 4 again. So even though we got 4 different note combinations there, it's only 2 different fingering combinations. 3 and 4, 1 and 2, then slide the 1 and 2 down, then do the 3 and 4 again. There you go. And so you put that in context, you get... And then just to be kind of cute and quirky, I threw an augmented 7th. Okay, instead of just a regular G, that D sharp in an augmented chord kind of gives it a little quirkiness to it, and so it kind of has a fun little feel to it, so I put that in there. There you go. And then we get to the chorus, measure 17. Measure 17. So the pattern in the bass becomes... Remember that highest note, I'm playing with my middle finger. Everything else is with my thumb. Thumb, 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 middle thumb, 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 middle thumb, middle thumb. Okay, it's hard to sing and play at the same time. Actually, I take that back. When I add the melody is being played with your third or your second finger, so you can play that high bass note with your first finger sneaking in there. That might be a better way to do that. Now, how you conquer these type of Merle Travis songs, there's a lot in them. Try to learn the melody first, then try and learn the bass line, then try and put just those 2 parts together. That's how you get it together. It's slow, it's methodical, takes a while to get it, and then you add the other little filler notes in there. But get the melody, then the bass line, that's step 2. Step 3, try and get both of those together, and then you fill in the rest of the notes. So the measure 17 with the chorus. Hey, I'm still doing that pattern in the bass. I'm just doing the melody with it. So you've got 2 different parts happening at the same time. Throw that B flat in there to help get us to that F in measure 21. Big old bar F. Okay, just like the F chord we had is similarly in measure 12, I believe it was. Then a C with an F as a melody note. And then I slide up to the 3rd position, and I do a D7, just like a C7 would be down here in the open position. If I move that up 2 frets, I get a D7. If I add that open E with it, I get kind of a D9th sort of a sound. Okay, so the pattern here becomes D, F sharp, A, F sharp in the bass. And the upper pattern is when you add those both together. And then I do back to the G7 we did before. And then our quirky little G augmented. Okay, so let's try all that again at measure 17, okay? F chord, shift up. There you go. Okay, so that is the first half of the chorus section. Songs have verses and choruses. We've done the verse. The verse is the dashing through the snow, that part of it. And then the chorus is the Jingle Bells part. So take a look at the top of page 3. This is an exact repeat of the first few bars of the chorus. So we just do that again, measure 25. Then we're back to measure 29, our F chord. Now that's a little bit of a tricky, a quick little transition there in measure 29, F. And then 2 Fs really quick. So if that's too tough for you to do, it's pretty quick. Then just drop that last F 8th note there in the melody. Just go. Here's our contrary motion again. And then at that point, we would repeat back to the verse, which is at the beginning. And we would play through all of that again. Now, as I come around through the end, I would then take the second ending. So if I started measure 29, let's pretend this is the second time through, it would be... We do a quick little C octave there, and then we do a little Chet Atkins lick. So that's D, first finger E flat, hammering on to the E natural. And then just to be cute at the end, we give a little C6-9 chord. It's a C major triad with the added 6th and the added 9th, okay? So we have a C, E, G, and then a D and an A. But this voicing is all in fourths, just how it lands in this particular voicing. We have an E, then 4 steps up as an A, 4 steps up as a D, 4 steps up as G, 4 steps up as another C. So it ends up being a very... We have 2 bars here. First finger is barring all the way from the 5th string to the 1st string, and then your second finger is barring from the 2nd string and 1st string. And it's a very happy sounding chord. A C6-9. There you go. Okay, so let me play it. I'm going to play it through it again. I'm going to play it super, super slow. See if you can play it along with me. I know you're just learning it. I know. Just try and see as much as you can grab, even just a measure or two here and there. That will that will kind of help you keep in track. So the goal is, even if you don't play, you got to stay with me. Got to don't just listen. Be an active participant. Try and follow along in the music. Okay, so I'm going to play it super slow. 1 and beginning, go. track. I'll speed it up a little bit. There you go. There you go. A simple arrangement of Jingle Bells, kind of done in the Merle Travis style. Now, if you like great resources for Christmas music, one of the best resources I can recommend to you is this book. It's the Real Christmas Book. I put the link down in the description down below. There's about 150 songs in this, and there's fantastic tracks, kind of done in a jazz style, that comes along with it as well. Perfect tracks for playing along with. So this is a great resource if you're looking for some good Christmas songs to play. This is a great one to start out with. Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Keep up the great work in your learning. We will see you guys next time.